What the piff is going on, my fellow Zenites? Welcome back to the easiest way out in crypto. Today I have a very special guest here for you. His name is Keep Calm and Crypto, a German YouTuber. Listen up what he has to say.
Hello, thank you for inviting me to be on your channel. I first want to apologize if my English is sometimes a little bit frozen or a little bit slow or a little bit wrong. I will try my best, but my channel is in German for a reason, because I didn't talk a lot in the English language for the last 10 years. So it's probably a little bit slow
Yes,
or wrong.
that's all right. So, would you like to tell us something about your channel?
Yes, a little bit. I chose the name Keep Calm and Crypto because I wanted to make a German channel where we can stay calm a little bit, stay not too much euphoric, so that we can just talk about the tokenomics, talk about interesting products and interesting cryptocurrencies, and do not always hype all the stuff, but just try to avoid some mistakes together and grow in this hopefully coming bull market. And that's what I tried. And with this channel, I'm growing slowly, but I'm growing. And as your channel is also growing with the PZEN, and now we decided to talk a little bit about PZEN, the Pulsechain, because I made some videos about Pulsechain, and maybe we will talk about that a little bit later. That you commented a lot at my videos, and that's why I found out about PZEN, and that's one of the funny stories, and that's why we decided to make one interview in German. We have it on my channel soon, and or probably before this one, we will find out who is faster to publish the video. And what do you want to know about
Exactly. For all the German speakers, we have his video right there. And it's a really nice motto, keep calm in crypto. That's actually what you want to do, right? Having a strategy and being just calm, executing it. And today I would like to ask you about Pulsechain, of course. What's your opinion? You mentioned it, you came across Pulsechain towards me because I told you on Twitter you should check this project out, and you did. And what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, it's really a funny story that I found out about PZEN because of you and your comments. Actually, I think it was on YouTube, but it doesn't really matter where. I found PZEN, and I found it interesting, of course, because of the tokenomics with the restructuring, even though there's another name, but I always refer to in German in Umverteilung. So there's this tax, which is,
Redistribution. Exactly.
redistribution is a good word, thanks. And this PZEN coin has, of course, this opportunity of a small market cap in combination with the opportunities you have on Pulsechain. The Pulsechain is not that much used at the moment. It's not yet mass adopted. So there's a real good chance in Pulsechain, in PulseX, of course, as the main exchange on Pulsechain, and of course in altcoins on the Pulsechain and in the PLS infrastructure. And PZEN is an interesting one. I'm just to disclaim it here, I have invested a small amount in PZEN, and I did it because it's interesting. It might get also like this memeability we have with some meme coins with this logo. It's also interesting what you told me about their creator, with Conrad Sen. I did not know a lot and did not know much about him, but it's interesting that he programmed this cryptocurrency. And I found out how interesting this 2% redistribution could work in the bull market. And of course, in the bull market, if PLS goes up, PZEN is with PLS in a liquidity pool. So in this this creates new opportunity. And so I think probably Pzen will go up with Pzen. Pzen
With
will go up
Pulsechain.
with Pulse. And that's, of course, a good chance in the bull market.
Yes,
That's
that's
my
beautiful.
opinion.
I think it's a great opinion. And you mentioned Pzen, of course, all of my followers, they know exactly how Pzen works. But for some of yours, I'm going to explain it here. And we have this inbuilt redistribution system, which takes a 2% paid forward deduction from every single transaction, whether it is a buy, a sell, and it transfers that equably to every Zenite out there. So to be more accurate, it is a 2.21% tax that is they're redistributed, and 0.2% of that goes straight into a charity wallet, and 0.01% is getting burned forever. And out of the charity wallet, we had already one donation, $50,000, into the Salk Institute and helping research for cancer, helping research for anti-aging, etc. But what's really important is that this is a life-changing opportunity we are facing right here, and that this system, how it is built and how it is designed, has truly the power to take over on the Pulsechain. Conrad Zen, the founder of Pulsechain, is a well-respected community member from the Hex community, also from the Pulsechain community. He was a Bitcoin Foundation member in 2011, and right there educating people about Bitcoin. Then he started educating people about Hex in 2019, right at the early beginning, even before Hex even launched. And his followers made gigantic amounts of money. So right now, he's doing it again with Pzen. And this is a really good opportunity. If you're around on the Pulsechain, I would definitely take a look at this.
Thanks for this addition or this additional information. To my mind, this charity aspect is really interesting also, of course, in the marketing aspect. This charity is always, of course, something good for the world, but also a very interesting marketing perspective for a lot of investors if you invest in Pzen in the bull market or better before, because then you get lower prices and you get this redistribution all the time. And this compounding interest is a very interesting model. And that's the reason why I invested a small amount in Pzen and why I'm lucky that I did so, and why I'm hoping that it might grow in the bull market. And with PLS, it will grow, but we will see if the additional risk of an altcoin is outperforming Pulse X or PLS. Probably it will, and that's why I invested. And I'm really looking forward to the bull market, and I'm interested in your celebrations then if Pzen goes through the roof.
Oh yeah, if Pzen goes through the roof and we will see a 1000x, I'm of course lighting up green candles I'm going to buy for this event. But let's not look too far into the future, because first of all, we are going to celebrate the new all-time high, and then we're going to celebrate the next steps, right? If we're at 1 penny, this is already a celebration video for me. And then at 10 cents and even at $1, potentially in the future, we will have multiple celebration videos, my friends and fellow Zenites. So what's your opinion maybe on Pulsechain in general?
Pulsechain is quite a strong project. I talked about this in my last German video a little bit more in detail, but there are some strengths that has the Pulsechain in its structure. And some strengths, of course, are the similarities with Ethereum, when you really are able to deploy smart contracts as easily as on Ethereum. And if you use, of course, all the copies that are existing on Ethereum and now existing on the Pulsechain. So there is a lot of mass adoption still possible. Of course, the low fees. But there we have to think about all the rivals we have there with Avalanche, of course, with Binance Smart Chain, Solana, and Sui, Cosmos, the Cosmos ecosystem. So there are a lot of altcoins. Actually, I'm investing in a lot of them because I'm not sure which one will win, but maybe there is no clear winner and all go up together. That's my peaceful perspective on the cryptocurrency market, that they win all together, hopefully, and they all get their different use cases. Maybe Avalanche more for gaming, maybe Ethereum for the whales with all the high transaction fees, and for retail adoption, maybe Pulsechain, because Pulsechain has this strong community from hacks. That's one of the biggest strengths I see at the Pulsechain, that there are people that who made so much money that they are so thankful for their whole life that they will always support the Pulsechain with technology, with programs, with ideas, with marketing. And this strong community is simply a big strength in the crypto market. And to my mind, one of the biggest, despite, of course, Richard Hart's marketing is also a big point. Like you said, Conrad Sen is an important player, of course, in the Pzen ecosystem. Of course, the founder plays a big role if you are talking about marketing and the project in general. So I'm bullish on Pulsechain, despite it had this great correction after the launch. A lot of weekends have probably sold. So we made a 3 or 2 or almost 3x or x in the last 2 or 1 week. So the price of Pulsechain is or has gotten back to the sacrifice rate. And this strength is really great to see in the cryptocurrency market and in Pulsechain, especially, to stay strong. Of course, the Richard Hart court case is also quite interesting. If he wins that, or if he loses it with not bad news in losing it, but probably he will even though win it. But if he doesn't win it, it's also maybe good for the price, because we have a lot of uncertainty got away, a lot of uncertainty passed away. I don't know how to say it better.
Exactly, yeah.
And that would be great for the Pulsechain ecosystem and Hex and Summit also Pzen.
Yes, I think a lot of projects will profit massively from the Pulsechain. And I do think Pzen is the one that's going to profit a lot. And yeah, very interesting perspective. Pulsechain is definitely a very interesting chain. There is a lot of happening, especially with the community this big and people actually building a lot of stuff. That's cool. What do you think about the money in the sacrifices? I'm sure you've heard about the rumors, or maybe it's actually true, that the OA has spent some of the sacrifice money and bought Pulsechain, Pulsex with it. Do you think it will just put all of that money straight into Pulsechain and Pulsex and pump up the prices to the moon?
That's a big question, actually. We have to talk about a little bit about mass adoption and the bridging before we can answer that in detail, to my mind. If we are talking about Pulsechain, it's interesting to state that it's difficult to onboard at the moment. So we have this problem of mass adoption, and at the moment it's not possible for the most of the people to use the Pulsechain because we have no big exchanges. And if this changes, of course, this also might push up the price because it's easier then to get in and easier to get out. At the moment, we have these bridges, and on these bridges, you can check a lot of transfer volume, and you can, of course, see sometimes when the blockchain is receiving more funding or more money from Ethereum. Also if there is money bridged over to Pulsechain, you normally see it. And this is, of course, an interesting part if you are invested and if you are thinking about investing, that you know sometimes when big whales are coming in. And we will see which whales went in the last weeks, but there were definitely big money flows in big transactions. And Richard Hart has still the biggest part of his sacrifice money, if I know this correctly. Otherwise, you can correct me, but the biggest
I guess it's
part
true.
is still in this wallets. We can check it anyway. I made a video, I think a year ago, where I talked about the transparency of Ethereum. And I told everyone to be careful with this, because if someone knows your address, anyone knows all your funds, all your tokens, if you want to see it on Etherscan. So you do not have to be a genius to find out which token someone holds if you know the address. And that's actually a problem of transparent chains, but it's another story. But you can see a lot on Ethereum and on Bitcoin, of course, but this brings trust, but has the cost of the anonymity aspect. If we talk about Pulsechain, these big amounts on the sacrifice wallets from Richard Hart can, of course, still flow into Pulsechain and push up the price extremely. To my mind, he will not dare to move these funds at the moment, as long as he has these court cases. To my mind, that's just speculation, of course, I would not move the money, because I always can tell the judge if I'm convicted, or if I'm, yeah, I think convicted is the right word.
Yeah.
If I found or pledged guilty, I could always tell everyone that I do not know how to move the funds anymore. I've lost my private key, and no one can prove it actually otherwise. So normally cryptocurrency is an interesting space also for the jurisdiction in the next years. But if Richard Hart decides not to move his coins on PLS, on PLSX, which he holds, and also his funds on Ethereum, no one probably else can move them, despite it's someone else. But everyone guesses that it's Richard Hart, and probably it's Richard Hart, and he will not move the funds probably at the moment, but maybe in the right moment, he might move his funds and give us this magic carpet ride he sometimes talks about, that not a rug pull where the founder
The
steals your money,
opposite, right?
the opposite, where the founder pumps your bags. And why should a founder do that? That's actually a reasonable question. But Richard Hart maybe does it because he just likes to win. He just likes then to tell everyone, I told you that PLSX will pump, that PLS will pump. And this, I can call it this, sometimes it's arrogance, and sometimes it's just the lack of winning and playing. That's also okay. It's a nice, it's sometimes also a funny,
Yeah, his
funny
coins
thing to
have a
watch him,
tendency to do
tell
well.
everyone that you cannot be winning harder. That's just funny. And maybe you will tell us the same thing when PZEN makes its 1000x.
Yeah, I'm surely here. And that's true. Like the coins of Richard Hart, they have a tendency to do well. And as well with Conrad Zen, the projects he's promoting, they also have a tendency to do well. And yes, it's a very interesting time to see what is going on in the future, how the bull run is going to develop. And if we see giant amounts of money flowing into the crypto space in general, which is currently happening with all of the ETFs and stuff, many coins, like they all have a good chance to go up. And the coins with the strong community, with the strong foundation, they have an even greater chance to go up, like Pulsechain.
I have one question for you, actually. I just came up with this one. If you're talking about the bull market and PZEN and PLS, do you think in the next months we will see a bigger correction in the crypto market in total? And might it drag us down for our viewers to get a good point of entry? Or is it better to, especially in PZEN, to enter now and get this 2% if other people get in later? What is your take on this, your own strategy in this? Probably your viewers anyway know it, but
Yeah. Looking here at the PZEN price, we can see that we just recently had a drawdown, and I think at these prices here, those are very, very good entry opportunities. And I don't think this will go much lower for Bitcoin and Ethereum and the general crypto market. Honestly, I have no idea. It could go up, it could go down as well. There are multiple reasons for everything. In general, I think long term, crypto will go up. Next 2 to 3 years, I think we will be at a new all-time high. And that is all that counts, right? I don't need to predict the next 5 months or even next months. It's okay if I have my positions and if I'm confident in them, and that's all that matters. I'm not
That's
a
true.
trader, right?
I'm also thinking a lot like this. I'm invested in a lot of altcoins and a lot of cryptocurrencies, and I'm always thinking about, is it getting cheaper? Is it getting more expensive in the next
Sure.
months or years? Probably in 1 or 2 years we will see new all-time highs. Of course, this is not the financial advice, but this is my opinion, and we will see how this will evolve with all the different products and different cryptocurrencies, of course a little bit fighting against each other and sometimes supporting each other. And that's a really interesting time we are living, and it's good to know these cryptocurrencies. And that's also one reason why we did this talk, is it's just an interesting time to talk now, to talk maybe in half a year, in a year again, and check out how the Pzen, how PLS, how PulseX, how these Richard Hart coins and Pzen, how they did, and to find out what's happening in the future, just to
Yes.
see it.
That is a great take. We should definitely check this out maybe in half a year again. And for all of you, especially for my German audience, go to his channel, Keep Calm in Crypto, subscribe to it. He makes great content. And yes, what else do we have to talk about?
First off, thanks for the invitation. Thanks for the time. Thanks for the time that we took about discussing these interesting topics. Also on my channel in the German version, we were also discussing Pzen and of course Pulsechain. And let's just wait for an interesting year, an interesting future, and then maybe talk again if there is some important stuff we should talk about, some news, some interesting other developments in the Pulsechain ecosystem, for example.
Yes, great. I hope you accumulated a lot of Pulsechain. And with that said, see you guys in the next video. That's for me and us. Easy way out.